Hi guys, my name is Tamara Bessmertnaia and I'm head of Fianchetto Chess School, the winner of Prometheus Awards 2021. I'm also candidate master of chess and I would like to congratulate you with International Chess Day. Yeah, July 20 is such an amazing day. As always, one time per year we celebrate all chess people, chess lovers, chess coaches, of course our students. I would like to congratulate all of you with such an amazing day. So, since there is such an important and special day, I would like to share with you some elementary of chess and teach you some checkmate techniques, how to checkmate lone king with queen and rook, two rooks, queen and bishop, queen and knight, and lone queen and lone rook. So, we'll look at these checkmates one by one and I will share with you how you can explain this kind of checkmates and specific checkmate patterns to your kids, maybe to some of your students. So I will also tell you how I make it usually and how I like to explain it so kids understand it better. So let's see it one by one. Such a special day, right? Yeah! So we'll see at 6 checkmate patterns and the easiest one is checkmate with queen and rook. How to make it? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that we'll checkmate on the edge of the board. So the goal is to push the king somewhere here up on the last rank. How to make it? First of all, you have to be sure that king will not move somewhere down. I like to call ranks floors, so we have to be sure that king, which lives on 6th floor, will not move down on 5th. How to make it? I can take the queen and move it on a5, and another way is take the rook and take control of 5th rank with the rook. I like to start with the queen, so we take the queen, we move it up, and 5th rank is ours. So king just moves here on 6th rank. I will now take the rook, which was so lazy before, but now it's time for her to move. I take the rook and move it on h6, like this. Check. Now it's time to take the queen and move it somewhere here on a7 or c7, but if we make it, king will just capture, which is of course not good for us. Then we'll need to checkmate just with one rook, which is a little bit more complicated way to make it. So what to do in this case? We usually say to kids that if you cannot move up and take control of the next rank, you take the queen and you move it far from the king together with your rook on the king's side. And like this, you can continue your checks just from another side of the board, which works perfect. Check, and then finally king is on the edge of the board. We take the rook. We always choose the piece which is more down and bring it up. Checkmate. Now next checkmate will be with two rooks. So two rooks mate is very easy because it's the same idea. You take the rook and you cut the king. What does it mean you cut the king? Again, you take control of the rank at which he could move down. So I take the rook and I move it on a5, or I can make it rook h5. I like a-file more, so we start from the left side. Now this rank is mine. I also want to take control of 6th rank, so I take another rook and move it here. Great, now it's time for this rook to move, and again you cannot move on a7 because your rook will be captured. We don't want to lose it. What we do? We take the rook, we move it far from the king, closer to another rook, but you never share files. One rook has to be on g file, another one on sage, because you will need to move them one by one. There has to be space for both of them. Now finally take the rook, move it up on g7, check, king is on the edge of the board. We take the rook which is more down and bring it up. Ta-da! Checkmate. Okay, another checkmate will be with the queen and bishop. How to make it? There are many ways how you can checkmate with the queen and bishop, but since we speak about kids which would like to learn how to make it, the easiest and the most important thing we need to know is how to push the king to the corner, not just on the edge of the board, it's much better to the corner here, with the queen. So here I will explain you how to checkmate without even moving the bishop, just using your queen, because later you can plus extra bishop moves, maybe even move the king if it will be necessary. But if you know how to make it with the queen, how to push the king there to the corner, then you're on top. You will always find a way to checkmate the king. So how to make it? The first thing is, do you remember how knight moves? Knight moves in an L shape, and there are different L shapes, but if you will move your queen here on c4, there will be L shape. And this is exactly what we need. We don't need to check the king. Checks actually not help. We will take the queen and make it like knight moves, the same idea. So I take the queen and move it on c4, and this is my first move. Now, since I cannot make L shape anymore because the square is taken, bishop is on d3, I can just move a little bit closer because my queen will be protected here by the king. So queen is safe, and I just play d4. Now, another thing is I continue my idea with an L shape, and here is exactly what I'm searching for. I play queen c5, and now I just follow the king and repeat all his moves one by one. If he moved right side, I make the same. He moves up diagonally, I follow him. I just repeat all his moves till he will be on the edge of the board in the corner. At the moment I see that black king is exactly in the corner, I need to stop for a second and analyze this position. I need to see where's my bishop, and look, bishop attacks h7 square, which is exactly on the same rank with the queen, which means you can take the queen, move it on h7, and it will be checkmate. And as you can see, we didn't even touch our bishop here. Of course, there is also another way to checkmate with the queen and the bishop, and you can mix the moves as I said before, but this one is amazing for kids because like this they are totally safe, and you as a coach also will be sure that we will find a way how to checkmate. Another checkmate is with the queen and the knight. So how to make it? Here we are super lucky. Knight attacks on c5, the square is totally safe for the queen. That's why I will not just move it somewhere here on c4 making an F shape, I will try to move it on c5, much better, faster. And now I need to search for another L shape. Again, I don't want to move the knight, I want to push the king on the edge of the board to the corner. I will make L shape all the time, the way knight moves. I repeat all moves of black king, no way to make mistake here, it's so easy. And now there is checkmate square, and it is g7. When queen will be on g7, it has to be checkmate, but only with the help of the knight. Now we'll finally move the knight. We have to find a knight path. It will take us 2 moves to control g7 square. I would like to make it like this. There are also other ways to make it. You can try to find something yours. For example, you can try to make something like this. But I prefer knight f4, much better. So from here again I can choose here or here. The goal is to protect g7, the checkmate square for the queen. I take the knight and move it on e6 and ready to checkmate. Queen g7, done. Next checkmate we will look at is checkmate with the queen, and now you will understand why I told you before, don't move your bishop, don't move your knight a lot, just focus on the queen, because here when you have just your queen you already know what to do. The first thing is you bring the queen a little bit closer since she is so far from the king, and it can be here on b4, a5, it doesn't matter actually. Let's start with a5, and now you just find me an L shape. Where's this move? It's queen b4. Ready? I make all these moves. I repeat everything. Here, for example, most kids will play d3 after they learn this technique. But of course, the better is to play d4. It will be a little bit faster. Let's play d4 here. And now we continue our L shape. We repeat all moves. But don't forget, we have to stop when black king will be in the corner. Ta-da, he's in the corner, so queen g7, this is the goal. I move here, it has to be checkmate. So my queen has to be protected by any other piece, so it cannot be captured by the king. I take the queen, I move it closer, and then I will checkmate. Let's start the trip. King f4, g5, g6, done. Close enough to checkmate in one. Another checkmate, and the last one for today, is checkmate with the rook. Well, this one is a little bit different, and to checkmate with the rook you actually can make it in 2 different ways, but we will use the opposition method. Opposition is situation when both kings are in front of each other on the same line. It can be rank, file or diagonal, and there is just 1, 3 or 5 squares between them. To checkmate with the rook, it has to be 1 square between, so black king has to move in opposition to our king so we can checkmate. Now let's see how it works. We take the rook and we choose left or right. Of course we go left. I like left more. It's not like it's a mistake to go right side, just let's start with a1. And now we cut the king. We did it before, you know what is to cut the king. We don't want king to move here on the 4th rank. I like to call rank floor, so we don't want king to move on 4th floor. We will move there. This is our floor now. Great, it's under control of the rook. Now, here's important thing you need to care about. The goal is king moves here on e5, it will be opposition. White king will control all squares here in front of black king, so the king cannot move down. And we will take the rook and move it up. But what will happen if you move now the king? If you play here, it's like you run away from the king. There is no logic. But if you play king d3, you will be in opposition and he will run away from you. So here is specific situation when you need to lose a tempo. It's like you need to give turn to play to your opponent. And how you make it, it's for example here we don't want to change position, but we want to give a turn. So we take the rook, we move it somewhere here to another side of the board, just so it is black to play and we can continue. And black just gave up the 5th rank, which is very good for us. We'll win faster. We take control of this floor, why not, since it's free. And we move for rook here. Now all pieces are up 6, 5, 4. There is no one on 4th rank, so I move the king there. And I am waiting for opposition. Here it is. This is the perfect example of opposition. Black king just moved on d6, opposition. He cannot move down. We control all the squares on 5th rank, which means rook is free, and we move it up. Perfect. Now we never move in opposition when we checkmate with the rook, so let's move left or right side just to bring king a little bit more up. I will choose e5, and now we follow the king till he will be on opposition. Okay, again opposition, you know what to do now. You take the rook, you move it up. Perfect. And the king is already on the edge of the board. We're so close to checkmate. Be very careful here. Rook is under attack. We take the rook, we move it far from the king. We always make this thing. And now same strange thing here, which you need to take care about. You need to lose a tempo. How to make it? Well, of course you can move it here, but then king will attack. That's why it will be a mistake. We just take the rook and move it somewhere, just 1 square on b7. Why not? Now it's turn for black to move. Black king just moved on g8, and we continue to follow him till he will be in opposition to our king. Ta-da! This is opposition, and we can checkmate in 1 on the edge of the board with the rook. This is how it works, guys, and I just show you 6 elementary checkmate patterns. This is piece checkmate. This is basic of chess, which you need to learn if you want to say I know how to play chess. Anyway, if you are from 4 to 15, you can sign up for the trial lesson in Fiancetta Chess School, and best chess coaches will give you trial lesson for free and look how your kid play chess. And of course, I would like to say again, congratulations on International Chess Day, which means so much to me, because in Fiancetta we love chess, we love kids, we love education and everything about these topics. We study together with the kids. They can learn everything from here, but of course not so fast. I'll explain you today, just one by one with many puzzles and exercises, so you can succeed and improve your chess skills. And of course, since there is such a special day, July 20, I would like to invite you to sign up for a trial lesson in Fiancetta Chess School. You can study chess with us, you can participate in our training tournaments. We play Blitz 5 plus 3 seconds only chess every 2 weeks, each Sunday, 12 p.m. Moscow time. And so I invite you to play with us, to study with Fiancetta, and one more time, happy International Chess Day!